Just mentioned there regarding coaching and how you feel. Obviously, goalkeeping's continually changing, and that your last edition of the book you're considering updating it.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular? I know it's quite a general question, but is there anything in particular in goalkeeping that has changed in the last sort of 10 years or so that has made a significant difference?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. The thing that's changed a lot, especially at the highest level, is what I call gamecraft. So we tend to think about goals as saving shots and taking crosses, but it's also about fielding through balls, reading the game. It's also about distribution. Yeah. It's about organising your defence. And unfortunately, the way that we coach goalies tends to be in isolation. So the things that I might be working with you, Richard, so it by nature becomes a technical practice where we're not kind of incorporating what we're doing in team play. So there's a tactical link to it. It tends to be too technical. But if one looks at the game now, and I say this to the young lads I coach all the time, 70%, 80% of a goal is touches at the highest level or with his feet. So you look at the best, your Van der Sars and your Casillas and your Joe Harts and people like that, and they're excellent with the ball at their feet, and they're excellent readers of the game. Lower down when you're learning the game, or even at grassroots, that ball that's played over the top or through the defence causes all sorts of mayhem. So we ought to be working on that. We ought to be working on a better building from the back, better game understanding. So it's that kind of gamecraft stuff that we need to get better at, because you could be playing a game and you have no shots to save, no crosses to take, but you've had 2 back passes, a couple of goal kicks and a through ball. You mess one of them up, well, you've had a bad game. And with the goalkeeper, there's really, really fine margins, and a goalie walks a tightrope without any safety net. So a back pass, if not done properly, could be a calamity and cause a disaster. So that becomes just as important as saving shots. But unfortunately, the way that we develop goalies in this country, when they're working with a squad, they tend to be in a shooting practice or some kind of drill. So they don't do the development of passing practices. So I concentrate a lot on trying to get them to be better with the ball at their feet and making better decisions.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, so in terms of a drill you can put on for that, then you say, I guess what you're trying to say, whereas the majority of training at the moment, and it's still the case at a lot of levels, where it will be technical and then it may be your W's, it may be diving drills, etc., shot stopping drills, maybe the percentage being more towards footwork drills and ball at your feet drills and gameplay situations.
Well, there are 5 key roles. Saving shots, which could come in a variety of forms. It could be long range shots, it could be saving with the unexpected, with a trailing leg, it could be unsighted, it could be one-on-ones, it could be reaction saves. Then there's dealing with crosses, which could be from a variety of angles, and driven in, floated in, bent in, way swingers. Then you have dealing with through balls, which may be over the top or through the defence, and making a decision: is that ball coming through to me for me to pick up? It's not. Do I have to leave the area and play with my feet? No, I can't. Is it going to be a back pass? Can I prepare for that? Or is the forward through, is he going to be a one-on-one situation? And it's trying to understand which of those situations is going to occur. Then the 4th bit is distribution, with hands and with the feet. So it's not just your goal kicks and out your hands, but also the back pass. When is it appropriate to play out? When do I go for damage limitation and just go beyond them? And then the 5th bit is, how can I be an orchestrator of my defence? How can I organise them? What's the key vocabulary I've got to use? How can I get information? There's a lot of mythology around organising defence, and they just think it's talking. Well, I could just talk a lot of nonsense. Yeah. What it is about is giving instructions and talking play away from it and preventing that from happening. So there's those 5 key roles, which for me comprises what I would include in my syllabus when I'm working with these players. I will respond to things what might have encountered in a game, but by and large it'll be something like this. The basics of footwear, handling, in dry conditions without gloves, because I really think it's important that the goalies learn to trust their hands and get the right hand shapes, and that gives them that kind of confidence. Then we go into shot stopping and diving, so we get the correct diving techniques. Then positioning in the line of the line set, and what we're trying to do there is for the goalie to always understand where they are in the goal and how can they make their goal look smaller. Then 65% of shots in games are on the move, so saving on the move is the next thing. It's not always straightforward, sometimes there may be deflections, you may be out of position, so the unexpected is the next one. Then the following week might be reaction saves, how can we recreate those, then one-on-ones, then dealing with crosses, then dealing with back pass and distribution, and then dealing with through balls and organising your defence. So by the time you go through all that, it's something like 10 weeks of a syllabus. So what we're trying to do constantly is pitch it at a level that the kids understand, so that every practice is relevant, it's realistic, it's appropriate, and it's specific where it needs to be. And then building up the confidence first, because confidence comes before competence, and what we want the goalies to feel is that they can achieve, and we build on what's there. And through that syllabus, we try and recreate match-like situations. So everything that we do, the goalie will recognise it as something that happens in a game. We won't be trying to come up with 1,000,001 practices just because they look good and use plenty of cards. Don't believe in that.